Hello Slaters! Slaters, in our last lesson, we understood about different water resources and how people get water. In our fifth lesson, we will understand how we get water naturally through rain and different methods of storing water. Slaters, we all know that water is a very precious resource. Water is important for survival of all living things on the planet. Most of our planet's surface is covered with water. However, most of the water is salty and cannot be used for drinking or for household use. Therefore, we use water from the freshwater bodies. In our last lesson, we understood that water is collected from the freshwater bodies and purified before it is sent to our homes. These freshwater bodies are filled up either by melting of the snow or by rain. Many parts of the states in India face water shortage due to uncertain or poor rainfall. Shortage means a situation where something that is needed cannot be obtained in sufficient amounts. In current times, the increasing incidences of water pollution have also resulted in water shortage. In order to cope with the water shortage, we have to wisely use our water resources and store water appropriately. When storing water, the aim should be to not waste the water and to keep the stored water clean. Slaters, you all must have observed few of the water storage methods in your own homes, isn't it? We generally store water in our overhead tanks, underground tanks, buckets and earthen pots. For generations, earthen pots or matkas are used for storing drinking water and for keeping it cool. This water is neither too cold nor too hot, but just right for drinking. In earlier times, people did not have refrigerators or filters. They used these earthen pots for storing water. Along with keeping the water cool, it also has many other benefits like improvement in digestion. It also helps in your bad throat and also prevents sunstroke. Wow! That is so amazing, isn't it? Now Slaters, no matter what vessel we use for storing water, the most important point to remember is to cover these containers. If we do not cover these vessels, it can again get dirty. Covering water containers also prevents or stops evaporation of water during hot summers. Slaters, at home we use these methods for storage of water. But have you all ever thought of storing the rainwater? You all must have seen that during rainfall, lots of water falls on the land. Is there a way that we can collect this water for our future use? Yes, we can do this by a simple method of rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is done in two ways. One is for direct use by storing and using it for washing and cleaning purposes. The second one is an artificial recharge of the groundwater. People collect rain from the rooftops and gardens in large drums and tanks with help of pipes. This water can be used for washing, cleaning and watering the plants. For recharging the groundwater, the water from the rooftops and various other places in urban cities which otherwise goes waste is collected in a recharge well. This recharge well is dug in low-lying ground and layered with stones and gravel. The rainwater directed in this area seeps inside the ground and recharges the aquifers present nearby. Now Slaters, you all drink water every day, isn't it? So what if I say that the water you drank today is the same water that the woolly mammoths and the early humans drank? You will be surprised, isn't it? But yes, the water has been recycling for more than 4 billion years. This recycling or movement of water into the lakes, rivers, oceans, atmosphere and land is called the water cycle. Water is an unique element which exists on earth in all three states of matter. We see things around us in three different states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. Water is present on earth in all three forms: solid in the form of ice, liquid in the form of water and gas in the form of vapor. Water can change into all these forms in nature. Now you all must have seen that when you mop your floor or wash clothes, they dry off after some time. This happens because of evaporation. The water evaporates into the air in the form of vapor when it comes in contact with air or heat. The same happens with the water in lakes, ponds and rivers when they are exposed to the heat of sunlight. This vapor rises above in the sky. As the vapor rises, it comes in contact with the cool air and starts to cool down. Water vapor, which is in the form of gas, when cools becomes water again and forms tiny droplets. The tiny droplets form clouds. As the number and size of the water droplets increases, it results in rain. This rainwater again fills up the lakes, ponds and rivers. So Slaters, did you all see the cycle of water? This process of water cycle has been continuously working since millions of years. So Slaters, in our coming sessions, we will look into all of these topics and also read the textbook lesson. I would like you all to read the lesson once. I will meet you soon. Till then, goodbye dear Slaters.